Hello, and welcome to a conversation around LinkedIn and networking. My name is Noelle. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Associate Director of Career Education at the Center for Career Development, which is a mouthful. When I'm not on a Zoom square, I'm meeting with students, I'm doing presentations across campus, I'm supporting our team of career success coaches. I love my work. I could talk forever about career topics, but we're going to spend the next 15 or 20 minutes focusing really on LinkedIn and networking as a strategy. And here we are. So this is where I'm currently sitting, the sixth floor of 100 Bay State Road, the Yawkey Center. The Center for Career Development exists on the sixth floor of that building. So if you're ever curious about where to find us, or if you're looking for a place to study, we have an amazing lobby space that could work for you. Some of the things we do here are resume and cover letter reviews. So the picture that you see is of one of our career ambassadors doing a resume review for a student, and we do those on our first floor. We do one-on-one appointments. So people like me, people on my team, we do virtual and career appointments. Virtual and in-person appointments focused on the full spectrum of career topics. We do workshops on campus requested by faculty and requested by student groups. So you might see me off of Zoom in a classroom in the future because we really try to get out and about across campus. Our team plans employer events, career fairs, info sessions. If anyone's interested in FIFA, we had people recruiting for the FIFA World Cup. We have Capital One that's happening. Capital One, a networking event that's happening here. So we do a lot of student-facing work. We do a lot of employer-facing work, and we do it in the Yawkey Center. The model through which all of our work is done is the career communities model. So we know that major doesn't equal career. And so the career communities model helps students identify a career community or multiple career communities that might resonate with them. And we have staff who lead each career community and have a lot of knowledge around hiring trends, industry trends. So the six career communities are here. Our website is down at the right-hand corner, you can see, but you can make an appointment with us based on the career community or career communities that you're interested in. For today, though, we'll talk a little bit about LinkedIn, broadly speaking. I'm not going to give you the go to linkedin.com and enter your email. I know most students have a LinkedIn account and you all can open it up as I'm talking. Like if you want to make this a working session, you can kind of minimize the screen and then just listen in the background as you're updating your LinkedIn. So yeah, so we'll talk about getting started. I'll just offer some quick tips for really building an effective profile. I think creating an account is the first step for sure, but then making sure that it's effective, it's updated, you're using it in the best way possible. And then we'll do a demo. So we'll stay on these slides for like I said, maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll hop off, we'll do a demo for maybe 5 more minutes so I can show you some BU alum and student profiles to think about to get a sense of the different ways that you can create a profile, and then we'll wrap it up there. So LinkedIn for most people is really thought of as a place to connect with people virtually. So I've I've clicked the connect button, someone has requested or someone has accepted my request, and then that's it. And so a lot of people exist with many, many connections on the platform, but those connections don't always translate into um, living healthy, fruitful, meaningful relationships professional relationships with people like outside of the LinkedIn platform. So that's a kind of question. If you sit through our discussion today and you're like, yeah, I really want to figure out how to maximize my connections. I want to reconnect with some people and like make them aware that I'm here and they're a connection of mine. That's a great topic for a one-on-one appointment with our team. But that's certainly one of the ways is just connecting with people, finding professionals, connecting with people from your high school, just like uh, broadening and expanding your network. You also can use LinkedIn as an internship and a job search tool. So I think most people are aware of that. You can join groups. So I think that's a lesser known fact about LinkedIn is as much as you can connect with people, you can also follow organizations. You can join groups, whether it's a machine learning, like a group of professionals who are interested in machine learning, or a group of professionals who are interested in anime or video gaming or spoken word poetry. It's a platform where you really can kind of like find a community, and those groups are great ways of getting a sense of like what's happening in my industry, what are people talking about. You can post in groups. So that's a feature that we won't get into too much today, but that exists. And then exploring career paths. I think it's a little bit harder to do because there isn't a button that says explore career paths the same way there's a button for like jobs to search for jobs and internships. But exploring career paths really means, if you're a data science student, if you're an English or a PR student, and you're trying to figure out like what are the possibilities open to me, one of the things that you can do is just from BU alumni, figure out who are the people who have graduated with my major and where are they now? And then you can replicate that for all the universities in Boston or all the universities in your hometown. So it truly allows you to really identify the curvy pathways that a lot of people take over the course of their careers. So this is different ways to use LinkedIn. Building an effective profile, I'm really going to start from the top and go down, so like top to bottom. And the first two things that most people see when they log into your LinkedIn is a profile photo and a headline. So like your photo in that circle, your banner photo in the background, and then your headline. Those are like literally they're just like the first things that people see. And so really thinking about how you want to craft your personal story and present your personal brand. A lot of LinkedIn is figuring out how do I want to present myself professionally, while networking does happen on TikTok and Instagram and X. I mean, to some extent, LinkedIn is really the primary place where people are trying to tell the story of who they are professionally. And so sometimes it's hard to tell that story with a photo, and sometimes photos are the best way to tell it. So, first of all, just having your photo that's in the circle, having it be you, having it be just you. If there's a way that you could be looking at the camera, and in, with a face that shows a happy emotion, that's great. That's a great place to start. You'll see when you go onto LinkedIn, you'll see some people are like in a suit. Some people are mid-speech, like people who give presentations. Sometimes the photo of them is mid-presentation. And sometimes like my photo, it's me, it's professional, but I'm on a hike and I'm outside and I look energized and refreshed and happy. But also I'm on a hike. And so like nature is in the background for me. But that's really part of how I'd like to craft my professional brand. I don't really see myself as someone in a suit, even though right now I'm wearing a suit. So think about how you want to come off, and how you want to be seen, what story you want to tell. The same thing goes for your banner photo. A lot of AI tools, Canva is a great alternative, but a lot of AI tools will just be able to generate a photo for you with like the right dimensions. I use Google Photos a lot. Sorry, Google Images a lot to search for different alternatives whenever I feel like I need a refresh. But photo of you, background banner photo, and then your headline. So your headline can be a data science student at Boston University. It can also be something like aspiring data analyst at uh Bank of America. It could be creative problem solver. I mean, your headline, as you can see here, this is the LinkedIn profile for our Career Ambassador program. So where you see Career Ambassador program, your name will be. But under that is your headline. And so this headline here is there's a lot of different components in it. It's skills focused. And so you could think about like, what are the two skills that I have that I really want to stand out? And maybe I put those skills in my headline. So, so these three components are the first ones when you're trying to think about revamping and refreshing your profile, start there. The couple things I'll call out here, name pronunciation. I can't demo that now because it's only a function. It's only a feature when you log in through your phone, but you actually can record you pronouncing your name and then attach it to your profile. It's not required by any means, but if you're someone who really is frustrated by the way that people mispronounce your name, then that's a really cool feature. You also can change the URL of your profile. So I think I'll try to show that when I do a LinkedIn demo. But like LinkedIn just gives you a very random URL, and you'll see here the first one listed, it's just jumbled. And so you can create the URL that you want that gets added to your resume or cover letter or other, if you have a website. And then the last thing I'll note here is keywords are kind of the way that recruiters and employers are searching and finding people on LinkedIn. So of course you can use LinkedIn actively and you can be the one reaching out and making the connections. But it would be nice for recruiters and employers to reach out to you too. And so in order to do that, optimizing keywords is really an important thing to focus on. And that's something, once again, in a one-on-one meeting, you could meet with someone here and talk about the kinds of positions you're looking for, the kinds of keywords that might help you be discovered by recruiters, and then figure out how to, appropriately, organically add them to your profile. The about section is the next section right under your name, your photo, your headline. It's the about section. And it's more narrative. So some people you'll see two different options here, and these are just two, but some people do kind of an overview. So the sample student here is a business student. They share what they're interested in, they share that they're seeking a summer internship, and they talk a little bit about their skills. The bottom person talks about some of the same kinds of things. They add a little bit about their hobbies, but they've got icons, right? They're adding a little bit more like visual diversity, and so you can have just text. You can be as creative as you want. Full disclosure, I use ChatGPT to help me with my my about section, and I copied and pasted my resume, my LinkedIn profile. I added a bit about myself. I shared that I wanted it to be like 5 or 6 sentences. And then ChatGPT generated something, and it was okay. It got me going. It got my wheels turning. And so feel free to use AI tools to help you generate these, but you can go in a lot of different directions, once again, based on the story that you'd like to be telling. And then one of the newer features of Handshake is just really calling out your skills. So you can call out your top skills in the top section of your profile. And then for each experience that you add, you can also add the skills that you demonstrated and that you now have as a result of that position. Education and experience. If you've got a resume that you're really happy about, please just copy and paste. You can use bullet points. You can use little dashes. You don't have to use either. You'll see the NASA example here. This person just used space to to separate their responsibilities. But really, the goal here is to be concise, but as inclusive as possible of all of the different things that you did. The benefit of LinkedIn is that you can take things from your resume and expand on it. Your resume is, you're a little bit limited with space, right? And so with LinkedIn, you don't have that concern. So sometimes it can be nice to realize that you can add a little bit more breathing room into each internship or volunteer experience or class project just because you have the space to do it. And then the two things I'll note here is that you can request recommendations from your connections. So a recommendation will show up at the bottom of your profile, and it essentially is it's kind of like a recommendation letter. Usually it's like a paragraph, and it could be someone who supervised you. It could be someone who, maybe if you're a TA, someone who took your class. It could be someone who worked with you on a project. It could be maybe not a supervisor, but if you did a study abroad program, or if you are engaged in your community and you have kind of like a guide or a coach or a mentor, all of those people can write recommendations. And then finally, you can add classes, you can add organizations on campus, off campus that you're a part of, and then volunteer experience and projects. If you write blogs like I do, you can include those as well. So it truly is much more, there are much more opportunities that you have to tell your full story as compared to your resume, which can feel pretty one-dimensional. With all of the things that I'm saying, like I imagine you all don't have just a lot of free time in your schedule to be implementing them. So your profile doesn't have to be built out overnight. I would encourage you to like go section by section and really, put on a timer for 30 minutes and just dedicate yourself to one specific part of your profile and then come back a week later and do the same thing. There are many student profiles at BU that you can look at other institutions you can look at. Of course, you can look at professionals who are more experienced, but in terms of like gaining inspiration and getting a sense of what's out there, I'd encourage you to just look at your peers, to really see ideas that you'd want to take and then things that just don't fit well with you. And then the last thing here, there are LinkedIn influencers that is an actual a group of people who LinkedIn has said, yes, you're an influencer, and they exist for a reason. They create content. It's super helpful content. Most of the time it's very specific. Influencers, they choose their realm of expertise. And so if you're looking for like content for younger talent, for recent grads, if you're looking for nonprofit opportunities, if you're looking for finance opportunities, I think most of you might be looking for tech, data analytics, opportunities. And so like following people who share the things that you're interested in is another way that you can really engage with the platform with not doing too much. You're following people and then content will just show up in your main feed. These are three people. Feel free to pause and look up their profiles, but thinking about like influencers, Morgan Young is a good example of someone who she just focuses on like the Gen Z trends and creating content that is really going to resonate with the Gen Z audience. Wendy talks a little bit more from like a marketing strategist perspective. She's actually like a consultant in real life. And then Stephanie does, in her professional life, she works in finance and tech, but you can see she really enjoys career coaching, and so kind of has that, you know, the job that pays the bills, but then also all of the side opportunities that she's created for herself. So these are three examples. There are tons of other people out there. But these are like some of the ways that you can look at a profile and tell that someone is really considered to be an influencer on the platform. I'm not gonna go through this whole slide because it's really just to drive home the point that creating your profile is one part of existing on the platform. The other part is like engaging with other people. And so you can like things, you can reshare things, you can express gratitude. Like if someone shared a tip that was helpful, literally you can comment, "This was so helpful, thank you so much." Um, like engaging with content is one way that isn't, you know, it doesn't feel as satisfying as applying for an internship maybe, but it's a way that you can expand your network and thus expand the people who can help you find internships. There is a BU LinkedIn alumni tool that we'll look at when we jump over to the platform that can help you specifically target BU alumni. Okay, here's my cue. So give me a second. I'm gonna reshare my screen so that we can look at LinkedIn. Okay, here we are. So Lauren is an example of someone who has gone in one direction with her profile. So Lauren's a BU alum. She graduated in January of 2025. So you can see that here. She's got a BU affiliation. She's got a Squarespace account. She, you know, has quite a few connections on LinkedIn. And she went the direction of her face and the background of, you know, like a nighttime background. Some people choose this background to be the city that they want to move to. So if you're applying to work in California, the Bay Area, Chicago, anywhere, you could make your profile, your banner photo, a photo of that city. And that is kind of cool. And it signals to people like, this is where I see myself going. Lauren doesn't have, you know, friends in her photo. It's just her. It's a blank background and she's in a suit of sorts. And then her header, she went for the strategy of like give your current position title. She's a client solutions associate. And then she works in the financial services industry. This is very straightforward, very much okay, and one direction to go. In the about section, she hasn't really added much other than her current title, and that's okay. She did talk about her top skills. She has a couple of posts that's really, you can see, like focused on when she got the position at GLG, when she got an internship at Berkeley Pharma Tech. She's posting about those, and that's a great piece of news to share on LinkedIn. I'm not someone who creates content every week, but when I get a new job, when I start something new, those are new things that I'm sharing on LinkedIn. And then as you scroll down, you'll see that Lauren went the direction of kind of using paragraph form to talk about what she does in each position. That's awesome. She's got the skills that she's developing and honing in those positions. And she's got her time at BU. What was she involved in? What was her major, her minor? She's done a certification on that she listed on the platform. So you can do that too. She's got projects here. So here's one example from Lauren. Let's scroll all the way back up. One example from Lauren to see one direction that you can go. The other person I'm going to show you is Madison, who like pretty similar, like it's just Madison, it's just her, she's in a suit. She's got a background photo. This is Boston. Feels like she's pretty connected to Boston. And then she talks a little bit about like who she is at BU, what kind of student she is, maybe like one big proud accomplishment, like being the president of BU's Undergraduate Women in Economics Association. That is really impressive and something that it looks like she's proud of. And then she's incoming analyst at Bank of America. So she's got a heading, a photo, a banner photo, and then Madison went the direction of one of the samples that we looked at. She's talking a little bit about who she is, what she's interested in, listing relevant skills, listing her top skills. And then some of her activity is similar to Lauren, like talking about positions that she's been accepted into. Madison studied abroad in the UK, and so talked about that, like posted about that. And so once again, you don't have to be posting only about like specific positions, but experiences that you've had that you're really proud of, they can be turned into posts too. And then you'll see Madison has her positions listed. She hasn't added descriptions to them. It's, it's not required that everyone's profile has to look exactly like your resume. So this is just me showing you what some students, the direction that they decide to go. You'll see that Lauren didn't have volunteering. Madison has volunteering on her profile. Lauren had class projects. Madison does not have class projects. So everyone's going to be a little bit different. Find something that fits for you. Ultimately, you want to be creating a profile that's like true to who you are, to your the story that you're trying to tell. So the last thing I want to do is show the BU alumni group. And LinkedIn has a profile for every university that has chosen to create one, and most universities do. So here's BU, and they all have an alumni tab. And when you click on it, any person on LinkedIn who has Boston University, like within their education section is going to be pulled in. And so you'll know that, like, of course, most of these are alumni, but there's also going to be students, right? So like Madison gets pulled in here too, even though she's not yet an alumni, she's currently listed as a student. So once again, vast majority of these are alumni, but your profile is going to show up here. The beauty of this pool of people is that you can splice and dice it a lot of different ways. And so if you're someone who's like, I really want to work at Dell, like I have the name of a company that I'm very much interested in, then you can say, I'd like to find people who somewhere on their profile is the word Dell, right? So are you going to find people who currently work at Dell? Yes. Who previously worked at Dell? Yes. And maybe they worked at a company called Dello, right? Like, so everything's keyword based. So, don't be surprised if some people come up in your search and you're like, you worked at Dello. What does that mean? So that's a heads up. So like good example. So Adam, Senior Director of Engineering at Dell EMC. Another great example, Yating Liu. It looks like they work at a company called Pandel Creative Assets. So like this person might not, this alum, you might not want to connect with this alum. But Jesse is an executive communications employee at Dell Technologies. So you'll get a sense of some people who might be more helpful than others. But this is based on a company that you're really interested in. If you don't really know what company you're interested in, but you really want to find alum who study the same thing that you did, you can say, I'm a psych major. I want to find everyone who majored in psychology. And I want to find people who are in the greater Boston area right now. And I just want to see, like, where are they? What are they doing? This is the like career pathway research part of LinkedIn. And so literally just looking at job titles, right? Like Malachi works at BU. I know them. They work at BU. They work at the First Gen Center, the Newberry Center. Olivia Burry also works at BU. So you'll get a sense like a lot of BU alum work at BU, no surprise. Naveen is a senior digital communications manager. I'd be curious, right? Like Naveen majored in psychology, right? But they're a digital communications manager. How did that work out? And so then you can do some digging, right? Like, oh, so they got their degree in psychology and then they went back and got their master's in film and television studies. So like that helps put things into perspective and might be a career pathway that you didn't think about. And if you are thinking about it, you can reach out to Naveen and say, hey, you did this amazing thing after you graduated your undergrad, you did a master's degree. Tell me about that. What was that like? So I'm going to pause here because I could talk about LinkedIn forever, but I hope this gives you an overview of the ways to get started and then the ways to really deepen your engagement with this platform. And I hope that you've got an action step, just one thing that you can do after today. Well, thanks for watching, and maybe our paths will cross again.